right?
The first I heard about it was, I heard about it obviously through Twitter and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. And look, it's an unfortunate thing. And, you know, right or wrong or anything like that, I mean, whether it was said, how it was said, whether it was translated correctly, you know, the context it was put in, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. You know, you're getting second, third, fourth hand knowledge, you know. The fact that it was said is unfortunate. And look, to be honest, I think Shane is a pretty cool, calm and collective guy. He certainly didn't take it offensively at first. I think the thing that disappointed him probably a little bit was, you know, the fact that things weren't done in the right order to kind of negate the situation, to minimise the damage that was done. And you know what? The other thing that he kind of was trying to push forward was, you know, that as much as they're unexposed to the different ethnicities here, you know, you don't want to see this become a problem in the future. You know, say a young Korean guy signs and goes to the States and says the same thing because his idol growing up was Kim Tae-kyun, and he says it in America and not meaning anything by it, no maliciousness, you know, nothing behind it, and then it becomes a major problem, you know. So that was his kind of persona and perspective on it. I kind of felt the same, you know, having played over there for so long, being exposed to that. You know, it's not seen here, it's not exposed here, it's probably very less understood here even than what it is in Australia. So
would you be shocked if a pitcher, one of the foreign pitchers, retaliated and hit Kim Tae-kyun?
No. And I say that, look, simply for the fact that growing up in the United States and playing baseball in the United States, the only way for a pitcher to stand up for one of his teammates is hit the guy, you know. Looked upon right or wrong, that's the way that, on the baseball field, that's the way things are dealt with. You know, on the football field, you know, somebody's out to crash tackle that guy on the field in all legal ways. You know, I'm not saying going outside the rules, but that's the way that it's done here. You know, is it right? Probably not. Is it wrong? Probably not. You know, but it's the way that baseball players communicate to each other when you're on opposite teams.
So next year, big news for baseball in your country. Dodgers, Diamondbacks, probably the most heated rivalry right now in baseball, even bigger than the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Yep.
Opening it up in Sydney. Could you tell us what you know about that?
Yeah, it's been like rumoured and talked about now for a period of time in Australia. I mean, it's always been a hope that we could get it out there after they've done it in Mexico and Puerto Rico and Japan and stuff like that, and there's talk that they could possibly do it here in Korea as well. But yeah, it finally came to fruition, announced on Tuesday or Wednesday, I think it was, that they're going to open up in March 2014 at the Sydney Cricket Ground, which is probably the second most historic place in Australia behind the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Yeah, I mean, for baseball in Australia, it's huge news. It's hard to really put it in perspective to explain what it would do for the sport in our nation. I mean, imagine playing a cricket game at Yankee Stadium. You know, that kind of thing. It's just, it's unbelievable to know it's going to happen. I mean, they're going to invest a lot of money in transforming that place into a baseball facility. I mean, we talked about the turf in the field earlier. That ground is, you could probably play golf on it, you could probably putt on it. It's that kind of facility. I mean, it's perfectly flat, it's perfectly smooth. It's even better grass than most big league stadiums that I've played at. Yeah, and they're going to cut it up and build an infield. They're going to cut it up, they're going to build a clay mound. They're going to put dugouts in, they're going to make it a major league quality facility. So, I mean, those two teams are going to get treated like royalty when they're there. So, I mean, the aspect and what it's going to do it's astronomical. I mean, I don't know how many people they're going to sell tickets to, but I guarantee you both games are going to be sold out. There's going to be a ton of people watching it from all over the country. People are going to fly in from all over the country. Wouldn't surprise me if a bunch of people from Korea don't fly out there to see if Yoo Jin pitches in one of those games. Peter Moylan, one of our national homegrown heroes, is on the Dodgers team as well. If he's out there, there's going to be, you know, a multitude of people wanting to see him play. So it's major news. It's like world-blowing how big that news is, and it's done a lot, and it says a lot for Major League Baseball and their commitment out there. You know, they've invested heavily over the past few years, you know, bringing the National League back into Australia again, and now they've committed the opening series out there. So it just shows the confidence they have in our nation as a baseball and community and a developing baseball country.
How about the field and the turf here? Can you take us through it and kind of explain? I mean, normal guy, the average lay person at home is like, who cares about the turf and the grass and the dirt and all that? But for a baseball player, it matters a lot. Can you talk about that here? Yeah,
I mean, the surface here that we've got's really nice. They do a great job here. You know, the infield's always well kept. It's nice and flat. It's very even. There's no humps and hollows and bumps and stuff like that. The dirt, it's a different kind of mixture than a lot of other places. It's a little bit sandy, it's a little bit clay, holds together relatively well, but at the same time it does break down like you want it to make it a little bit surer underfoot, because you don't want anything that's hard like concrete or anything like that, because, you know, your spikes don't dig into it properly and it comes out in really big clumps rather than just break up nice and smoothly. So and the importance of having, you know, a nice flat turf, like a nice flat infield, and, you know, and good dirt, is the fact that the last thing you want to do is be going down the field, a ground ball, get a bad hop, and, you know, somebody get hit in the face or the mouth or anything like that. Yep. And same thing again. You see that many times. You know, guy gets broken nose, have chipped teeth, you know, black eye, broken cheekbones. I mean, people don't understand how fast that ball is actually coming when guys hit it. I mean, at the epitome of the sport, guys make it look really easy to field that ball. But I mean, if any normal person was to grab a glove and go out there and have somebody hit a ball at them at 100 miles an hour, you've got not much chance to react, not much chance to see it, let alone if it takes a bad hop rather than a routine hop at you.
So, the better the field, the less errors, the less beer consumption?
You would tend to think so. At the same time, you know, if it plays true, it's a lot better for the hitters too. You know, because the ball goes where it's supposed to go, stays true. You know, if it's a little bit slow, the ball doesn't get through the infield quite as good, which, you know, is a pitcher's dream, hitter's nightmare. If it's too fast, then it's a fielder's nightmare, because the ball gets on you a lot quicker than what you expect, and so the more natural it is, the much better it plays all around for the sport. You know, the pitchers know what to expect, the hitters know what to expect, and the fielders know how to prepare and what to expect out there. You've
obviously played in MLB, Safeco, you know, a whole host of National League stadiums. Will they let fans come in with cases of beer?
Hell no. There's too much money to be made on that side of things. You know, they have their own rights, and they've got all of their, you know, all of their sponsorship deals and stuff that they, you know, make money out of and stuff like that. Whereas here, for whatever reason, I've never really asked why, but they you know, they don't make the fans buy their food and stuff from the stadium. It's allowed to be brought in from outside, and it seems to work. You know, you end up with a lot of people here. You know, people come here and they enjoy themselves and they have a great time. And for the food and the drink that gets brought in, it's relatively tame here. You very rarely see any rowdiness. You very rarely see or hear any profanities. You don't really see many people get removed from the stadium at all. You don't have streakers. You don't have people throwing shit on the field. I mean it's a lot tamer. You would imagine it to be a lot more kind of unorganized and unorthodox, but it's not. It's really good, and the people here have a great time.
I think it's the culture too.
Yeah, the culture has a lot to do with it.
They get along with each other.
Yeah.
There's really one ethnicity here.
Yes.
Where in the States, there's a lot of different people and things like that.
And the respect is driven home here. Respect for elders and respect for people in a more superior position, and for somebody who does something that you can't do personally, there's that respect is drowned into you right from the start, and I think that's probably got a lot to do with it too.
The season playing out right now. You guys are in third, coming off an exciting extra innings win last night. I was here for part of it, so you pitched very well. Came out in the seventh. Anyhow, let's just talk about where the Giants are at right now, mentally, and just pushing almost at the halfway point.
Yeah, after what I would consider a pretty horrendous start from us on the first part of the season, we've certainly turned things around a lot. Collectively as a team, as a whole team, a whole roster, we're playing a much better style of baseball. It's more team-oriented baseball. And I'm not saying that anybody was trying to be individualistic at the start. It's just we weren't cohesive as a team to start the season. Now, we're doing a lot of the little things right. We get a guy on, we move him over, we drive him in, we score 1-2 runs an inning, and do it a couple of times during the game. We're pitching well, playing defense well, and not making mistakes, and that was the biggest thing for us earlier in the year. We were making mistakes that were costing us runs, and we were losing by those runs, rather than now we're not making those mistakes and we're not losing by those runs.
Cool. Thanks a lot for doing it in the rain.
No worries, mate.
Appreciate it.
No problems at all. Easy done.